also, just to take you back, my unit has been known, you guys. I was a serial DIQer, and I created a lot of serial DIQers. So I am the director who can have 8 to 10, 12 DIQs at one time. And nobody crossed the finish line. Okay. And so imagine the psyche of my people when they have become DIQ, like their confidence had broke down. You know what I mean? They didn't believe it. And so in 2018, we offsprung 2 directors. So I was a senior sales director. In 2019, there were no offsprings. We went, so that just to give you the idea of the mindset of my people, because my people have been with me for a long time. Okay. And so just to give you the mindset. So we go into seminar, we're mad, motivated, and determined, and we come out, and National Sales Director Patrice Moore Smith was having her national debut. Also at seminar, corporate gets on stage at our breakfast for the Magic area and said, Gloria, oh my gosh, you haven't had an Offspring National since the beginning of time. Yeah, yes. Pressure. And then they talk about, oh, and you have a year and a half left with us. So the time clocks starts to tick, all 2019 at seminar. So we're feeling it, you guys, like, oh my gosh, no more, the Gloria Mayfield Banks, no more Offspring National since she offsprung the first group. Oh my gosh. And we only have a year and a half left. So here we are. We get that inspiration. We go to Patrice's national debut and we catch a vision. You guys, my directors, my 2 little directors and I purchased a rental home. It was a mansion home in Cottondale, Alabama. Her debut was in Alabama. And so we purchased this mansion home on a farm, 167-acre farm on top of the hill, overlooking a big lake. And I mean, I don't even know how much closer you can get to God than to be in nature and with the animals. And I mean, everything. We had our own honey, you know, and then the owner of the home he was the principal of a Christian school. So his home was decorated with Bible verses. And I mean, it was just the most beautiful connection with God that we could possibly have. And so all of our women, we showed up and we connected and we bonded there. And that's when we made the decision that we were going to go full out for this national area. We were going to go full out to create this national area. And so we come home, and you guys know how it happens. You're inspired. You come home and nothing still, you know, you don't see the fruits of it yet. It doesn't happen immediately. And so we had our first DIQ hit in October, and they were waiting, you know, the people, my serial DIQs, they were waiting to see if people were going to succeed. You know, were they going to cross the finish line? Okay. And so they were looking at the 2 directors that I had, and they were like, okay, they're still directors, because when we did cross the finish line, we wouldn't stay there long, you guys. So the 2 or 3 directors that we offsprung would lose their directorships in the first 6 months. Like, we didn't even create it for the full year. And so that is what my unit was seeing. And so when we pushed out LaQuata Johnson, LaQuata went into DIQ, and she came back from seminar. She said, Michelle, I'm going into DIQ October 1st. Okay, so she came back from seminar. She made that declaration. On September the 23rd, her brother passed away suddenly. And so she called me 2 days later. She said, Michelle, I'm still going into DIQ. I said, are you sure? Like, are you sure? She said, yes, because I made him the promise that I was going to become a sales director, and we were going to celebrate in Arizona, which is where he moved, you know, at Christmas time. And I'm going for it. And you guys, that passion goal right there propelled her through her DIQ, went on target. Then we get to November, and she had to come apart because she looked the same. 0 production, 0 recruits. And so she had to create another passion goal. And so I'm mentioning the passion goal because we really have to tap into our people. You have to know the majority of us do not run out this race for money. We are not motivated about money, because if we were, we would all be getting paid over $50,000-$60,000 per month if we were motivated by money. So we're not motivated by money. So we have to tap into our people and what's going to drive them to win. And so she was ready to quit in November. She was like, Michelle, I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know how to do it. And I said, well, LaQuata, tell me, what can we do for John? What can we do for him to honor him with this win? The money that you're going to make, how can we honor him? And she just broke down crying, guys. She broke down crying. She said, oh my God, I need to go to Arizona. She said, no, I need to send his grown children to Arizona to be with their mother, so she's not experiencing Christmas by herself, with the loss of her husband. And so 4 tickets, you guys, this was in the middle of November. So, we had to buy those tickets soon, right? And so in the middle of November, she pushed out her win and sold this product and recruited and made it happen, like literally pushed across the finish line on the passion of sending those 4 grown children round trip to their mom for Christmas. And can I tell you, oh my gosh, how they loved on their auntie. Like they were like, I can't believe it. I can't believe you're sending us to Arizona. I've never been on a plane. Their parents had just recently moved to Arizona. They were from Ohio. They had never been on a plane. They had never been to their home. And for them to go to the home where their father passed away and to love on their mom. So that was her passion. That was her motivation to get her across the finish line. When she crossed that finish line, she broke the belief barrier. Okay. She broke the belief barrier. And so we started running it out. Another thing that I picked up was that $1 Million Retreat. $1 Million Retreat, another intimate weekend. It was all the $1 Million Nationals who hit million during their director, all the millionaires, $1 Million directors, and they were able to bring 1, 2, or 3 people to Pennsylvania. And it was life changing. And one of the things that I have heard over the years was that if you want to become a national, remember that's the goal, you have to get in front of 100 faces a month. I'm like, 100, okay, 100 faces per month with intent, with the right intent. And so I went in, I said, okay, we're going to come back and we're going to get in front of 100 faces. But you guys, the trips in Mary Kay, like for literally, the trips were back to back. So it was seminar, it was the area debut. Then it was the Bahamas. Then it was our conference for fall retreat. Then it was the $1 Million Weekend. And then it was leadership. And then it was Feel the Power, like back to back to back. Every month we were gone. And then here we are at Feel the Power. And I said, look, I cannot do another trip. I have to get to these 100 faces. And so when we came back, we hit those 100 faces really hard, mid-February to mid-March. And you all know what happened big time in March. COVID. Come apart again. Because now my household, you guys, is 100% ran on Mary Kay income. How are we going to do this when your household is ran 100% on Mary Kay income? And what I love about our company is that they consider us. They consider us, you guys. And so they knew that there were a lot of directors out there whose household was totally 100% Mary Kay. And they did whatever it took to make sure that we stayed in business and that we continue to receive our product. Our thought process at first was, well, okay, if you have inventory, you're winning in this season. Okay, so okay, I have some stock. Okay, I have inventory. Okay, so but then what happens when we run out? And so when that happened, when I hit those 100 faces, we recruited 2 superstars when I hit the 100 faces, you guys. And of course, it's old school Mary Kay. So y'all know that's house to house to house on those 100 faces, right? Before the world of Zoom, that has changed the game for all of us. And so I recruited 2 superstars, and those 2 superstars came in and went on target for their car and into DIQ their very first month. Okay. So we learned at National Patrice's debut that they called themselves the originals, the OGs, the middle, and the finishers. Those are her offsprings. And the finishers, the new, moved the middle, and the middle moved the OGs, the originals, okay? And so those two knew when they started their traction, because we're celebrating them, you know, on Facebook with pic collages. Oh my gosh, she has 3. Oh my gosh, she has 5. Oh my gosh, she has 10. It woke up 6 of my serial DIQers. And they all went into DIQ. So here we are back again with 8 DIQs, marching it out during a pandemic. And so I had to pivot quickly. And I can tell you what helped me was really plugging in to now. I knew the company had my back, so I was secure and safe in that. Then I pivoted and I watched my sister sales directors. You guys are amazing. Like what you shared on our directors pages across Facebook and social media. Some of you were already zooming. Okay, we knew nothing about Zoom. You guys were already doing it. You were self-sharing your plans and how you were making it happen. And so I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I had to copy the right cats. And so instead of staying in this place of, oh my gosh, I don't know how to work Zoom. I've never done Zoom. How do I make it work? Instead of doing that, I just went on and I picked the brains of all of you amazing women who is sharing on that Facebook directors groups that we are all a part of. And so that's exactly what we did. And so we pivoted quickly. And so I started to do the parties for the unit because I knew that they were going to be a little bit slower to the uptake. You know, we have women who are more mature, that maybe not so connected with social media. And so I didn't want there to be a curve on their money and waiting on them to pick it up. So I had to show them. You know, sometimes we get into the habit of telling and not showing. And so we need to show them and not tell them what to do, but show them how to do it. And so I started to do Old School Mary Kay. What do? You take your people with you, right? You take them to the skincare classes, you take them with you. So I took them with me into this Zoom world. Bring your people. I'm hosting a party. Bring your people, bring your people. And they started to bring their people. And we, you know, picked up that uptake. Another thing that we did was I learned this from Kathy Halou and Debbie Moore. Oh my gosh. And then, oh my gosh, Stacey James. Stacey James, if you guys haven't been mesmerized by those big blue eyes, I mean, she just has this way of pulling you in and Mary Kay in you, okay? And Stacey James taught us something at Inner Circle Weekend. She said, for her new people, and so if you know Gloria, Gloria is not a do a debut situation. They'll learn, do it on their own. Don't you dare do anybody else's business. Okay. But in Inner Circle Weekend, you're going to get a lot of ideas and they're all at the top. And so there were women who does debut. There were nationals who does debuts. Okay. And so anyway, Stacey James said, you guys, her new people, she had them give her a list of 5 women they admire. 5 women they admire. All the new people have to give a list of 5 women they admire and why they admire them. And so she then calls them and booked them for practice interviews. These are the new people coming in. And so we started to have a surge in our recruiting before the $30 starter kit because I pivoted and I started doing Zoom interviews with the 5 practice interviews with my new, okay? And so as the new people were coming in, we did that. Another thing that we did was, again, Kathy Halou and Debbie Moore were doing debut parties. And so we moved those debut parties as group debuts on Zoom. And we started to do the debut parties for our new people. And so working with intent, I moved from doing my own 100 faces to now a collaboration of tracking 100 faces for me and for my people. And so that is what I was tracking, was those 100 faces. And so doing that, you guys, we then exploded. We went from, in March, we hit, December, we hit 20,000. We hadn't hit 20,000 in over a year. Then in March, we hit 25,000. In April, when I looked at the numbers for Trip, I felt like, oh my gosh, here we are. We are closer than we've ever been before. We were 3 months of $40,000 each month away from earning the Trip. And that was the closest we've ever been. And I said, okay, in April, I got to prove to myself that I can hit 40,000. And so we went full out, of course, with 8 DIQs, and we slam dunked that $40,000 and 40 new agreements into the system. We got the $30 starter kit, and then we exploded to 56,000 and 50 agreements. And then in June, we hit 76,000 and 80 5 agreements, you guys. Offspringing 6 directors in 2020. By June, right now, we have 12 offsprings in my future area. And so I can tell you what changed me was the fact that, of course, that we just showed up. We showed up and we really created that passion goal, the fact that the clock is ticking. You know, the clock is ticking. Here we are, we're counting it down. She has 14 months left with us. And so we are going to give her 6 more Offspring National Sales Directors, right? 6 more Offspring National Sales Directors. And so that is what helped us on this journey to get there. I am going to also say that number one, you need to hold on to your vision. You have to hold on to your vision and to focus on your purpose. You have to remember that trusting the process is accepting and embracing your circumstances with the belief that they are leading you to your vision. And so that's the thing that I did, is I held on to the vision even when it was no evidence that it was going to happen. In February, you guys, we had in $285,000 retail. So from 285 in February to 800,000, that was 518,000 that was created over 4 months. So hold on to your vision, even when there's no evidence that it's going to happen. Number 2, you have to be grateful. Gratitude is a magnet for miracles, and it increases your energy and your happiness, and it even prolongs your life. Gratitude increases the feel good, and it brings out dopamine and serotonin, and it helps to deflect negative thoughts. I had to watch my thinking. I had to watch the 6 inches between my ears, because it was easy. It was easy to go negative during COVID. Like, I had the same concerns. Like, how do you inspire somebody to sell product when we're all in a pandemic? How do you inspire someone to work their business when they're losing their family? Like, we lost moms. You know, we've lost over 30 people in my organization, not in the organization, but in our family due to COVID, you know? So we have been hit hard. And so how do you do that in that circumstance? And so I had to remember to be grateful for everything and to celebrate them and to love on them. And so make sure that you're reaching out to your people and that you're loving on them and that you're connecting with them, and to give them a healthy distraction. Mary Kay has always been a healthy distraction in my life, no matter what we've been going through in life. I just feel like we're all in it together right now, but we've all had challenges through our lives, and Mary Kay is a healthy distraction. And so I had to remind that to my unit, that, you know what, you guys are the sunshine for your community. You are the healthy distraction from everything that we're seeing on the news, everything that's going on around us. Be the healthy distraction. And then again, I had to accept responsibility. You are acknowledging that no situation is permanent when you accept the responsibility. That you are simply saying that a situation is not as you wish, and you are going to take charge and get back on track. And so when you accept full responsibility for where you are, then that gives you power in order to bounce back and to get back on track. So again, the meat and potatoes of it all is I tracked 100 faces in 30 days, you guys. That's what we're doing. We're tracking 100 faces. And again, at first it was mine until we built up that energy and synergy. And now I'm tracking it with me and my unit. Number 2, we did new debut parties and 5 practice interviews. We were really powerful onboarding with our new consultant training. Again, Zoom. Always be ready. Beautiful face-to-face interaction. Gloria has always taught us belly to belly, no over the phone. And so now that we're in this world, I'm not doing anything over the phone. I'm like, hey, can you meet me on Zoom? Can you meet me on Zoom? So one-on-one interactions right here, coaching right here, finding out their passion goal right here on Zoom. Let them see your eyes so that they can see inside your soul and know where you're coming from. You know what I mean? And so really connect. The connections are amazing. And then we know, so that's the new piece. You got to tap into the new. The few, give them a place to win. We were really powerful at giving them a place to win. Having that goal of Trip. Now listen, my goal was Trip. Okay. 40,000, 56,000. The last month, here comes Gloria. Well, you know, we don't just earn a trip, right? You know, we explode the trip. I was like, what? Like, I'm just trying to earn a trip. The first trip, Gloria. She's like, oh, no. Oh, no. We're going to explode the trip. I'm like, okay. Okay. So that came from Gloria, the push, the stretch, being able to be stretched, to take it to the next level. And that gave a place for my people to win. The most precious part of this was not earning the trip. The most precious part of this was to hear them celebrate everything. We did a Zoom call and we said, what happened, you guys? Like, what happened for you? And everybody celebrated at every level. Oh my gosh, this was the first month ever. This is my biggest month ever. I've never was $1,000 babe. I've never hit 1,000 wholesale in 1 month. Oh my gosh, this is my highest position ever. I was never a team leader. I mean, everyone, when you raise up, the community will rise up and everyone raised up to be a part of this amazing goal to hit 800,000, which was the goal in June. It changed because of Gloria. And so again, so giving them a place to win. We give them a place to win, and we were building teams of teams. We really became powerful at building teams of teams because we wanted to support the DIQ. You know, my DIQs were serial DIQers because they didn't have that support behind them. And so we really paid attention to the company about building teams of teams, because when you go into DIQ and you have 3 jamming red jacket teams on your team, it is a cinch. And all of my offsprings are doing it in 2 months. They're all doing it in 2 months because they have teams of teams. I took a page out of Mary Kay's book. You guys remember when we were getting all those long necklaces that we loved and we came in looking like Mr. T because we wanted to wear them all? You guys remember that? Those necklaces? We were going to wear all of our necklaces, okay? So we walked in with those. But Mary Kay, they were so super smart. So I really pay attention to them because they put a lot of strategy in what they do. And so they were recognizing red jackets who hit 1,200 wholesale, right? Red jackets who hit at the Star Team Builder, team leaders who hit 18, and elite team members who did 24. So that is my recognition for my reds. We recognize red jackets who hit production and creating that production, you guys, and teaching them how to do it. Because when they cross over to sales director, now they know how to create production, okay? Because they put their focus on it. And so we did a lot of recognition behind that: 1,200, 1,800, 2,400, building teams of teams, celebrating them with a red jacket newsletter, showing the ones who were building teams of teams on there. We also had Club G to plug into, where Gloria does a monthly recognition for our red jacket. So we were just creating a lot of red jacket pride. Really quickly, I got to go back to this one space where Gloria, we were at the $1 Million Retreat. I went into her room and I had a breakdown. I'm a crybaby, so I was crying to her and I said, Gloria, it's not working. I want to be a national, it's not working. And she said, because you're focusing on building directors and you're losing. Because listen, this is what it was. I would build the DIQ. If the DIQ failed, my production went out the window. Okay. And so she said, you have to build production and people at the same time. You can't just build build the people. You have to do both at the same time, because then you don't lose the production if the person loses the goal or don't hit the goal. Okay. And so I had to learn how to do that, you guys. I had to go back. I was leaving 90% of my unit behind, focusing on that little percent who was crossing over to sales director. And so I had to go back and focus on building production and giving everybody a place to win by celebrating the sellers as well. and not just putting all of my energy into creating this national area, that everybody is a part of creating the national area. And so we did a lot of systems with the $100 days that I know you guys are slam dunking with, celebrating them for $100 days, giving them sales ideas, celebrating even our on-the-go sellers, because we have people who sell differently, you know, and so we have to make sure that we're tapping into everybody's abilities and strength. Also, people will support what they help to create. And so we had chaos. You know, when you're bringing in 40, 50, 85 agreements, you're in chaos right now. Like, how do I manage all of this? And so people will help to support what they create. And so we empowered the Red Jackets to be a part of the systems that we were creating to create this, how we're managing it all. My Offspring directors were a part of that. And so you guys, we do a lot together. Right now, we're just very cohesive. We do a lot together. And so our new consultant training, Monday Night Lives, I assigned that to a director. And so she is in charge of making sure that what we're going to train on, and assigning the people who's training and who's bringing in our guests. Okay. New consultant training, that's assigned to a C personality director. We operate in their strengths. Okay. And so she was in charge of that. She paired up with my assistant and created a manual for our new consultant training. And then we spread it out. We spread it out to 8 weeks. It is an 8-week course. I know that's long, but you guys, we have to teach people how to do Zoom. We have to teach people how to create a Facebook page. We have to teach people social media, as well as the Mary Kay basics. And so, and, you know, we even bring in an accountant, you know, every, you know, in talk taxes. So we have an amazing new consultant program. We had to, you know, make sure that we were onboarding correctly, and had those systems down correctly as well. We offer a slay day. Yes, slay the makeup. We, you know, slay the makeup day. Okay. And so we offer a slay day where they can actually come in and see tips about makeup artistry. And we have a makeup artist who is in our future area. And so she's in charge of that and who she's bringing forth. Okay. So we just assigned it out and we delegate it. We also have Super Sunday. We do not want our new consultants waiting to gain the skills to start making money. We want to show them the money right now. People, we need instant gratification. And so to show them the money right now, we offer Super Sundays. I assigned that to another director who is really great at skincare classes pre-COVID. And she makes sure that there is a director in a red jacket who is running Super Sunday at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock Eastern, where they can bring all their guests and plug in to our Super Sundays. And so that is keeping our recruiting high. That is, you know, they're still selling the product. And at the new consultant training, they're learning how to do their own debuts with their own flip charts, you know, doing that, you know, we're teaching them how to do it so they can go off and start doing their own and then become a part of this process that we have. And so it is working. It is truly working tremendously for us. I'm going to close. I